Welcome to another episode of Core Discussions. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
Bottom and Jay.
And Hunter.
Now that NFL season's a wrap, we are going to talk about another major American sport. We're going to get into the NBA. I know we're kind of heavy into the season, but this is when the season starts picking up. And now that we're not so invested with football, we have time to kind of discuss and talk about the season as a whole. So, gentlemen, are we ready?
Always
ready.
Okay, so with the season so far, we are coming into an interesting season. The Boston Celtics currently still are number one overall in the NBA with a record of 42 and 17. Milwaukee Bucks just one game behind there at 41 and 17. And on the Western Conference, you have the Denver Nuggets at 41 and 18, along with the Memphis Grizzlies at 35 and 22. So I want to talk about. Let's just get into any big surprises of the season so far.
I mean, it's got to be the Kings, right?
Who had them in the playoffs?
Big surprise would be the Golden State Warriors.
At time of recording, they're the 9th seed.
Yeah, they're 29. Pretty much similar roster. It's just the defense has just not been where it needs to be.
You want to hear a funny stat? They are 22 and 7 at home and 7 and 22 on the road.
Yeah, dude, they are so bad on the road.
I don't understand it because they're a veteran team,
Yeah, it's just interesting. They had like this pretty much same team won like 53 games last season. Now it just doesn't work. Whatever they're doing is just not working right now.
And I bet if you ask Warrior fans, as long as they make the playoffs, they'll win the whole thing.
They win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I don't have much confidence in them.
I don't know. They should have done something at the trade deadline. So.
Well, they got rid of James Wiseman.
Well, yeah.
One of the Warrior fans regret that draft. They could have had LaMelo Ball.
I mean, they could have had literally anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'll at least give the Warriors a little bit of the reason that I saw it might happen is we also have to remember that is an older team. Steph Curry is injury prone. Klay Thompson is still up there. And last year I felt was just they didn't really get hurt that much. They didn't deal with injuries much. And we all knew they had probably 1 or 2 years left with that roster. With that, they have a lot of wear on their body. And with that roster of that core, especially of Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, we're kind of just seeing it again this year of Curry's hurt. Clay's missed a couple games, and now once you lose that base, that's the team. They haven't really replaced that, and that's hard to replace. I mean, it's really hard to replace Steph Curry, who's one of the 15 greatest players of all time. Like, that's a big thing.
If they get healthy around playoff time, that'd be good for them. But if not, they will be in some trouble.
Hey, LeBron's the only one that can stack up with Draymond.
Yeah.
If you have Draymond.
It's like, buddy, you're not even at the table.
Yeah.
Didn't Klay Thompson also say he's like a top 25 player of all time?
Yeah, I was like, absolutely.
I'll at least give Klay Thompson.
Klay is good.
When Klay is on, he is the most dangerous shooter I've ever seen in my life.
Well, yeah.
At least he can claim he has those claims of Klay was big. Yeah, 6 dribbles.
Not top 25.
Top 25. That's a little heavy.
Yeah, but
but top 75. Yeah, okay.
When they say this is why wouldn't they say that? They have to believe that about themselves, right? You don't make it that far.
You could say top 50 or something.
Top 50. I'm with him. I'm with him.
We can maybe find room in that top 50. We might be able to find room.
Yeah, 25 maybe. Shooting a bit high, but 50, we can talk about it.
Nah, Phil, I would say my surprise in the East is the Cavaliers. I did not think to be 15 games above 500.
I thought that'd be good.
Even with
they were decent last year, but yeah.
This good.
I was a little curious on how the Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland team up was going to work. Because I thought that was a good move, and them getting rid of Colin Sexton with Darius Garland doing work. So they had stuff there.
I'm surprised at how decent Brooklyn is doing without Kyrie and.
Who knows how well they're doing now?
Without Kyrie, it's because every team without Kyrie gets better. But
Oh, are we doing the Kyrie thing now? Are we doing that now?
Yeah, we're doing that now.
I could do a whole 30-minute podcast on how much worse teams are with Kyrie. Like having Kyrie on your team is net negative.
All right.
The Mavericks are going to be the Mavericks are going to get a lot. Like they're not even a championship contender. Not even close.
Let's get into that because that was going to be my next thing. We were going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets dynasty, fake dynasty, the super team that never was.
This is the second time it's happened with them.
The Brooklyn Nets are the biggest failures in NBA history with the potential of their lineup, which means also KD, James Harden, and Kyrie are also have a huge stain on their career for this because this should have been an easy contending for championship team.
It should have been in the finals. Kevin Durant had a few smaller shoes.
In like 10, 15 years, whenever they do a 30 for 30 on the Brooklyn Nets, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're bigger at this point right now than the Clippers. The Clippers still at least have a shot to make the championship.
Because what the thing with the Clippers is that they don't play, man.
Yeah, it's like come playoff time, they'll be fine. I think if Kawhi does get hurt near the end of the season, I'll be like he's turning into Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I mean he's.
What are you talking about?
There.
He might have missed more games than Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he's probably already there. I'm just assuming in my mind he's always hurt.
Let me see. How many games has he even played this year?
I think I'm more surprised at this point when he actually plays.
And they just got Russell Westbrook. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, Kawhi's played 34 games this year.
I think Russell would do better with Clippers than he did on Lakers.
I think the way that team is better suited for Russ.
Yeah, because he actually handled the ball.
I mean, I will argue with you on a little bit because at least the Nets did get stuff for KD. They did get a haul.
Well, that's what I said. They got enough. They recuperated 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, it's better than the first time they tried this, where they had to
the first. Yeah, they got fleeced. They got fleeced. And the first time they got fleeced, and we all knew they got fleeced. For KD was past it, and so was
Paul Pierce.
We all knew that was a fleece. But I think with this time, where I would say the Nets over the Clippers is the Clippers gave up a lot. I don't know if you're getting anything back. And you got a conference final, but like,
they still
if it doesn't work, you got nothing. Like, you have to win or something because otherwise you got nothing back. Because you also remember they traded they traded SGA, who's now a stud, for that. They gave up all of those picks, and Kawhi Leonard can end up walking for free. Whereas at least the Nets, they traded both their stars. Though back in the summer, we all said you needed to trade Kyrie Irving. It wasn't going to work. Like, the moment him and Durant demanded trades, you still got a good amount, but like we all kind of knew, like back in the summer, it was done. Granted, I never thought you should have gotten James Harden. I was very questionable about that move.
Yeah, I'm just now curious how the Phoenix Suns are going to do now.
Yeah.
If Kevin Durant's healthy, they have to be the favorite, right?
That's a deadly
team. They're not going to win.
I mean, this is a shot. This is the one time. If you can't do it with these guys, this is your best shot.
They're probably the team you don't want to face just because of Durant. He's just that good.
If they lose, like let's say they lose, Durant's kind of going back to Golden State.
Oh, dude.
I think Durant has like 2 or 3 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
What's going to be funny to me is if Kyrie leaves the Mavs after half the season.
I think
he might.
I expect it.
Yeah. Here's my big fear if I'm the Mavs. He hasn't signed a long-term contract yet, so he can still leave.
My biggest concern is if this doesn't work out, does Luka start demanding something?
Well, so what's going to happen if they lose? Like, let's say they lose first round of the playoffs. I think Kyrie's definitely gone if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I will give them at least they made a move, which they knew they had to. They've tried it, and we'll see. But I'm questioning, was that the move? Because like now you added Kyrie Irving, who also needs the ball, but doesn't really play defense.
They so keeping Jalen Brunson.
It's like Luka. Now you have Luka and Kyrie who play horrible defense.
Now you got your 2 best players who both don't play defense, who are great defenders. Now it's like,
they should have kept Jalen Brunson. I think that would have been better because he's been killing it in New York.
Hey, the Knicks are a playoff team right now. I mean, Julius Randle's reviving his career. RJ Barrett's he's good. But he hasn't
a lot after last season. Last season was quite a dud for him.
I still think RJ Barrett is not good.
I think
he's good, but he's not. He hasn't elevated. He hasn't elevated like he's supposed to.
No, and I don't know if the Knicks is the team. I mean, this might be a ceiling, which is not bad.
Yeah, I'll take 20 points a game.
That's still like solid,
especially from a third option right now. 20 points.
Well, I just don't think you're winning anything with RJ Barrett as your third best player.
I think you can. It depends on who the top two are.
I don't blame RJ Barrett because as third guy, I think I'm fine. I think my first two is where I'm more concerned if I'm the Knicks. So, are these guys stars?
Yeah, I don't think Julius Randle could be a top two on your team and win a championship. But I understand why the Knicks gave him that contract because of how well he played. It's hard not to give a guy like that a contract.
Well, yeah, you take the Knicks to the playoffs and they don't go that often.
Let's get into some of these other top seeds that might not be. This other one that I want to talk about a little bit is it's a surprise of how well they're doing. The Denver Nuggets. They are right now at 41-18, number one seed in the Western, looking like they're probably going to be the number one seed in the Western Conference. The Joker is playing like otherworldly. He's actually making a valid case to be the second person ever to win 3 straight MVPs. 24 points.
I think Russell do it and Bird.
Oh, yeah, Russell did. But second one in a long time.
Yeah, since
so,
Bird.
yeah.
No one's done since Bird.
And then, so it'd be 24.7 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 10.1 assists. He's really like, I think this year, more than anything else, this might be the year he deserves the MVP more than the other years, because not only does he have the stats, his team is playing at a level of number one seed. Big help they've got is Jamal Murray coming back, which that was something that was questionable because he missed a year and a half of you don't know how people bounce back. But Jamal Murray's doing pretty well. I think there's still some rust there because he's not at completely the level he was before, but he's still doing pretty well. Aaron Gordon, MPJ's been there as well, played some games as well. So, yeah, what do we think about them so far?
They're looking dangerous.
They look really good. I mean,
I thought they were the favorite out of the West until the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got 4 players averaging like almost 17 or more. That's really good, especially compared to last year where Jokic was the only one. Next highest was like Aaron Gordon at 15. I mean, if they're clicking, like I said, it's them or the Suns right now that are the favorites probably.
Definitely. I would definitely say, yeah, it's them or the Suns, and the Suns is just dependent on how Durant comes in. Because I feel Durant also can just jive with any team, just the way he plays. But yeah, the way the Nuggets are moving the ball, I think they also have a little bit of the experience of they've been to the Western Conference Finals before, so that also helps with the core. It's just, do they have the right pieces? And again, if they can stay healthy, knock on wood, if they can stay healthy, they're should be good. Let's talk about the East on the other side. With the other couple, we could kind of bunch these teams. You got the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Sixers at the top 3 spots. Each one of them have a player that's in MVP level. Jason Tatum, with a bounce back after a horrible finals, is playing has even made his game even better. Milwaukee Bucks have Giannis, who's also putting up a good case for MVP, as well as Embiid with the Sixers is putting up an MVP season.
I mean, I was like, all the 3 teams that have the least amount of faith in the 76ers. They always disappoint in the playoffs.
That's always my fear is not so much it's can Embiid stay healthy or does he gas out? Because he just seems that he works so hard that he just sometimes in the playoffs seems like he just kind of gasses out at the end. Plus, I think I saw somebody was talking about Doc Rivers' legacy right now is also on the line with this team of if they don't perform, it's really, he's gone from probably one of the top coaches ever to his legacy has taken a lot of hits.
Speaking of dominant teams, I did see that if the current win rate continues, Boston will have less than 60 wins, which is the least for the most in the league since like 2002.
But if you look at all these top teams, you're looking at Celtics have Jason Tatum, who's one of the top 5 best players. You have Jaylen Brown's your number 2, which that's still a really good number 2. He's all-star level. Bucks. Yeah, Bucks. You have Giannis, who's probably the best player in the league. Then the number 2 is Middleton's having a down year. Drew Holiday's your number 2. 76ers, James Harden's not at the all-star level he used to be. Nets have been kind of injured throughout the season. Lakers, everything going on with AD and everything. Like, you don't have the big, like these are the like two unstoppable forces this team has nobody has an answer for this year. It's kind of spread out the talent.
Well, and it's also like a lot of small markets actually retaining their stars, so it helps bring a nicer balance to the NBA.
Very true. Now, on a side note, I do also want to quickly give a shout out to the Orlando Magic because they have Jacob and I's boy Paolo Banchero, who's playing very well.
They made the right
Makes
choice
great
with that
points
number
there,
one
like-
pick. Don't matter.
They were going to be a bad, like, I don't care about their record and how they're not. Like, we all knew that. He ain't
roster,
transforming
though,
the team.
The
It's
names
still
on that
solid.
roster are solid. If they keep developing.
The Rockets, like their roster is looking pretty good for the future, but I will say they need to fire Steven Silas. He has no idea what the hell he's doing.
They have a lot of good players, but they just gotta learn how
Did you
to actually play
did you
basketball.
see where Silas or Jabari Smith was like, yeah, the coaches don't run plays for me.
I
Yeah.
was not surprised at all to hear that.
No.
Honestly.
Plays for your third overall pick.
Yeah, they make sense. And I think they need a coach that's also going to tell some of these players, hey, you're a good guy, but some of them are playing like at a level that they think they're going to be a star. And it's like, look, you're going to be a role player. It is what it is. Not everybody's going to be a star. I'm going to need you to accept your role. And I think, if they can get a pretty solid coach, like that would be a pretty good place to go as a coaching hire. They definitely have a lot to work with there.
Yeah, because I look at the roster, I'm like, this ain't bad for the future, but yeah, they should be better than the record, honestly.
Oh, yeah, they should not be the worst team.
One of the bottom tier starting point guards, Kevin Porter Jr., he can score. He's not a point guard.
Well, I think that's, again, where you get a coach that can kind of work with that and figure a way around it of getting your stars the ball. And that's what you need, especially for some of these young teams. That's my only concern with some of these teams is, do they have the right coach? I mean, you look at a situation like, Charlotte, where, that organization is just a full mess. The only bright spot, you still have LaMelo Ball.
Can we
talk about?
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
One of the worst teams in the league, and you don't play your young players. It makes no sense.
It really doesn't.
Absolute horrendous coaching hire from Jordan to hire Clifford.
We knew it from day one. We kept from day one that hire was awful.
And we said we knew it would happen. We said he's not going to play the young guys, and his lineup's going to be trash. And what happened?
They've won 17 games, and they refused to play Kai Jones or Book Knight. And it took them, until midway through the season to play Mark.
Past 4 games is when he's actually started and played over 20 minutes.
It's like you're going nowhere. You've been going nowhere, and you refuse to play. Like, why is Gordon Hayward playing? Why are we doing this?
For $30 million, that's
Miles
why.
Bridges is definitely coming back after this season. Watch. They're just waiting for this. They're just making him not play
they are
for a
waiting.
season.
They mentioned it multiple times. They're just waiting to see what the NBA does.
Yep. The second the NBA decides if they're doing not doing anything, he's going to get that contract.
But for players actually playing, like when they started Mark Williams, the defense has actually gotten better.
Well, yeah, because
Amazing how that happens.
He was a great defender at Duke.
Yeah, he was going to be a rim protector. We all
Have
knew
you seen
that.
some of his blocks he's gotten since he started? They have just been ridiculous. I mean, we swatted that 3-point shot. I'm like,
He can actually shoot. He has a decent mid-range game. So
yeah,
can
he does
actually
have a
stretch the
jumper
floor.
he does have a jumper that looks like at some point he can shoot a 3. Not
Mhm.
now, but
It's
give him a
good
couple
motion,
years.
Yeah.
Well-
He'll make more in his career than Ben Simmons.
And I didn't really get the choice to trade AJ Griffin. I mean, I think they should have held on to him.
I don't know why they traded Jalen Duren. I didn't understand
Yeah,
that.
it was-
Second round pick.
The only
What the hell
reason
was that?
I will understand is because they wanted to keep Mark Williams. And the both, I think, will be good players.
So you could have kept both picks. You could have done like a Phillips said.
Yeah.
You could have got AJ Griffin, who can shoot really well, and then you could
Then
get Mark
Mark
Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, you could have done both.
Just
It seems like there's something about Book Knight they don't like it. So it's just so that way you have another shooter that can. But whatever.
with the Hornets, it's also you got one of the best young talents with LaMelo Ball. You struck gold. Build the team around him and put like a solid team there, but you keep making these choices that are like, what? The second he can leave, he's gone. The way he
only
can
thing
figure out.
that will save the Hornets is if they somehow get the number 1 pick. But obviously, that won't happen.
Well, I think number
Well,
one or
the
number
NBA
two,
would never allow it.
think number one and number two, because Scoot Henderson also looks really
Yeah,
good.
but getting
If you
Victor,
get one of them two.
getting Victor would have been franchise changing, you know.
Well, yeah, but we know that's not happening. So I'm saying for number two. Because this is life as a Hornets fan. You know, you draft young players, you get excited for them, but then you realize they don't play.
Okay, so we knew though when we discussed it when Steve Cliff got hired, we knew this was going to be a bad year once that happened.
The other team that I would say is just looking is going to be very interesting is also Atlanta Hawks, because they're still like, I mean, they're at 8th right now, but it's like, what the hell do you?
Yeah,
but like, but what do you do? Like, what do you do with that team? Like,
you just traded for Murray.
Traded for Murray. Trae Young's just never gonna be. I don't know. Like, he just can't be that guy.
I just don't know yet.
I don't think. I had questions of could he be a number one? Like, yeah, he can score and all, but I think he's going to be better as a 2. And he's also not like a leader that the team's going to galvanize behind. Like, do you feel that the Atlanta Hawks are really, the team's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to follow that guy? Like, I know what people will make like the short argument, but you still had people like Allen Iverson who was a leader and people like followed his role. Can you really do it with Trae Young? I say no.
I'm not sold on him mainly because his shot selection's terrible.
Well, I know he shoots way. I mean, like he's a good shooter, but he's far
He shoots way too many
threes.
deep threes. I mean,
Mhm.
he's
Like-
shooting 32%.
It's like the year they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like he was driving a lot.
Then I think they got to figure out what they're going to do at center. If they're going to keep Capella or keep Okongwu.
They need to get rid of Capella and just play a Conru.
I think so.
And we're going to hit on real quick, Jacob, your Lakers. I mean, to be real, right now they're only like 2 games out of that playoffs.
Well, I mean,
2 games out of playoff.
The West is so like mid. Besides the first
Yeah.
top seed, so I mean,
Who are we talking about?
it's anyone's game.
Lakers.
Oh, they suck.
But like they're
No,
2 games out of playoffs.
I do like this new roster though. So much more
New roster's
deeper.
not bad.
Yeah,
New roster's actually pretty good.
It's just. Can they make that push? Because they're they're like 2 games, 1.5
Yeah.
or whatever from the last seed, but you feel like they would want to build some momentum. So we'll see what happens. And
You do. Well, in order to make the push, they would just get it. They would have to build that momentum. They're only a couple games out. Like I think they're 3.5 games out of 6th spot, even to get to the Mavs spot. They're 3.5 games. So it's not the worst comeback like last year where they were just completely out of it. The one thing, like we said, the West is still open. And what I think it's just one of those things in the back of all of our minds, because the NBA is a star-driven league. You get LeBron and Anthony Davis right, you have the deadliest 1-2 hit. And if they make it to playoffs where you have a 7-game series, I see some of those teams, yeah, but there's a huge difference in NBA, especially of regular season and playoffs. They have a first-round matchup with the Kings. The Kings don't have a lot of playoff experience. I could see that being a very hard series for the Kings. Like,
Absolutely.
I know they haven't played it. That I think in the back of teams' minds, like, if they make it, they can be a little scary. Now, I'm not saying it's 100%, but if they make it, you get some things right. D'Angelo Russell ends up working out better. I know there's still a question about their defense, like how will it be when they need it, but I think just when you have in the NBA, if you have the best 1 and 2, if you have the 2 best players in each series, you have a really good chance of winning that series. Heck, if you have the best player in the series, you usually have a good chance of winning that series.
I just don't
That's
have
a difference.
faith that Anthony Davis can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I don't either.
But at least they got
But I'm
somebody
still
that
making
can
the
do
case.
decent in Vanderbilt. He can fill in. and
Yeah,
do
he's pretty
decent
good.
Out, so the
Mhm.
team is now suddenly deep, and they finally have some shooters in Malik Beasley, and Lonnie Walker hasn't been terrible either.
Like I
But-
said, all depends if they can get enough chemistry going.
Yeah, they with being so few games left, that's just this thing. Can they get the chemistry together?
And LeBron's gonna miss more games. Anthony Davis is gonna miss more games. So
Mhm.
they gotta win the games they don't play. If they don't, then that's gonna just knock them out.
I think the West is just so up for grabs right now
Oh,
that
yeah, I can easily see the Lakers
Right
falling
there.
into a playoff spot, or at least
Yeah, I'm
into the
like-
play-in. They'll make at least a play-in.
I was gonna say you make the play in right now. They have to play Golden State. Are we sure Steph Curry's coming back or not?
And
That'd
if
be a
Zion
win.
stays out, Pelicans are just going to keep falling.
I can see, yeah. Pelicans, yeah, they might drop. I liked Zion, but the big thing I always was skeptical on was the weight. Like, can he stay injury
Just can't
free?
stay healthy.
And that was like, I was like, you can have all the star power in the world. If you can't stay healthy, it doesn't matter. Max, what's the best ability?
Availability.
I mean, it's the truth.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if you ask the Pelicans, they can do the draft again. Who they would draft? They would take John Morant 10 out of 10 times.
I don't know. It depends. Because Zion's still box office, so either way.
Okay, but yeah, you're gonna have someone. How many games has Zion played? 60-something games.
Yeah, but you got to think.
In 3 years.
John Morant do as well on the Pelicans.
I mean,
I think
he'd at least play.
Probably be helping to have John Morant. Like, John Morant, Brandon Ingram combo would have been very interesting. And again,
so far Zion played more games this year. So
yeah, and I mean, I think next year when you get it, it'll be Zion. What do you use? 4th or 5th year?
It's 4th year, and he's played 60-something games.
Yeah, 4th year. You haven't broken 100. There's 82
That's
games
terrible.
a season.
That's
it ain't
terrible,
hard.
Yeah,
There's 82 games in his.
He's played 114 games in 3 years. So let's say if he doesn't play a single game for the rest of the year, he will have played in 46% of his games.
All right, so real quick before we kind of finish up this segment, any predictions? Who we think gonna win MVP this year?
Jokic.
As of right now, Jokic, because I just a triple double as a center is insane.
Yeah.
And that's the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I think the only person that stands a chance right now is Giannis.
Max?
B's got to be up
B's
there.
got a chance, but Giannis just got he hurt. He's hurt now, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, with the rest, I was actually thinking Giannis might win it just because I could see the voter fatigue for Jokic because NBA because he just won the past 2. I know he's putting up like ridiculous numbers, top, but I was gonna say Embiid also does still have the story of he hasn't won it yet that they could kind of throw him a bone. I would probably go with the Joker. He's putting up the stats and the numbers that it's just he's making it very hard to not say him.